Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to another retro review. Now, this one's been requested by a couple of people, so, I'm gonna do the ones that people request. Of course, SummerSlam 2003. Now, I thought that this pay-per-view was very disappointing indeed. There was a lot of potential to be had on this card, but, it kind of failed in a lot of respects. First match, La Resistance defeat the Dudley Boyz. This match was boring. This match was just, a very poor way to open the show. This Rob Conway was still being introduced here like anybody gave a shit about his fucking ass. Then, he gets involved posing as a cameraman, and then they end up getting a cheap fucking victory over the Dudleys. Cheap wrestling, just a very, very cheap finish, cheap all around. When you got an opener on the pay-per-view, you want to create excitement. It should be a very good match, preferably a fast-paced match with two good wrestlers. The Dudleys are a good team, but 2003 was not their best year by far. They were really slowing down. They were getting very stale. They also started to water them down a lot. They weren't doing as much shit with the tables. They weren't really getting that same type of feel like in 2000 when the Dudleys were on the top of their world. And I remember in 2000, I was in junior high school at the time. And there were people lifting other motherfuckers up and giving them 3Ds in the hallways. That's how over the Dudleys were. People were just wanting to imitate them. They wanted to be them. And, it was just, it was a good time for the Dudleys. But this was not a good time for the Dudleys. I give this match a star, and that's being generous. Then was the Undertaker defeating A-Train. Another very shitty-ass match. Very boring. There was, nothing happening in this match. Very fucking slow. The Undertaker was just feuding with these guys, the Big Show and A-Train nonstop. And it just, it spilled out until this point in time again with A-Train. He wrestled A-Train at this year's WrestleMania, in 2003. And it was just getting tiresome already. And this was very fucking slow, boring, and plotting. I give this match, I'll give it a half of a star. It just was so fucking goddamn slow and long, too. Very long and boring match. Then it was Shane McMahon defeating Eric Bischoff. This match, had some shenanigans going on, but for the most part, once again, boring. The coach turned heel during this match, and then you had Stone Cold coming in, saving Shane. But it was boring. Besides the elbow through the announce table, there was really nothing going on in this match as far as, action-wise. SummerSlam, second biggest pay-per-view after WrestleMania for the year. And it was shitty. We're already on the third match, and it's been shit so far. Yeah. I'll give it a star for the elbow through the table. That's being generous once again. Then we have Eddie Guerrero, and he defeats Chris Benoit. God, I just said that name. Rhino and Tajiri in the fatal four-way match for the U.S. title. Now, you may think that this match was awesome. It was great because of the talent involved. Benoit, Guerrero, Rhino, Tajiri, no slouches either. You had, some good talent in here. But not that it was a bad match, but it was a disappointing match. There was really nothing that spectacular about it. I give it 2.5 stars. I really expected more from this match. Way more. Very, very fucking disappointing. These guys, I remember at Vengeance when, they brought back the U.S. title. They had a classic one-on-one match. Benoit and Guerrero, classic fucking match. And then they come and they have this fatal four-way. And you would think that it was fast-paced with a lot of different shit going on, innovative spots. No, really just bland. Not really a lot. Couple of signature spots here and there. And that was about it. Nothing, And this match, could have stole the show, but it didn't. Then you had Kurt Angle defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. He retains. This match was fucking awesome. Finally, after watching a shit fucking pay-per-view, they did something good on here. The match was just it was great. So much great technical wrestling. Maybe not as good as their WrestleMania 19 match, but I haven't seen that match in a couple of years, so I don't know how it stacks up, but very good technical wrestling, counter chain wrestling. These guys are stringing together moves like crazy. Very, very good. This was the type of thing that WWE was doing right in 2003. 2003, decent year. Not a bad year for WWE in my opinion. I enjoyed a lot of the stuff. Roster wasn't at its peak, but they had decent enough wrestlers. Just weren't using them the right way. In some respects. I give this match 4.5 stars. Very, very good match. And sadly, it ended up stealing the show. Not sadly, but it's just, this was really the only, great match on the show, believe it or not. Then you had Kane defeating Rob Van Dam in a no-holds-barred match. Kane slips off the top rope, totally fucks up during this one, but decent enough match. They tried in this one. They did some hardcore shit. RVD misses a Van Terminator. Everybody thinks that he hit it, but he didn't. He missed it. And it was a good fucking match. You had spots on the steel steps. You had a lot of very hardcore little moments in here. Not terrific, but decent enough on this show. 3 stars. I'm really scrounging to find something good on this show. And it was decent enough hardcore shit in here, to call it a good match. Then it was Triple H, Goldberg, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash. Who else was in this fucking thing? Randy Orton. This was a decent Elimination Chamber, but really it kind of sucked. Let me explain. The whole thing with Goldberg dominating through this, it was good, but it didn't pay off in the end. Sledgehammer shot, and it looked like Goldberg was going to kick out, but he doesn't even end up kicking out. It's just him losing terribly in the end. Just very anticlimactic. You had all those big spots and everything during this match, and it just ends. Not saying the sledgehammer shot wasn't brutal. It was, but for it to end that way, it just really was a big fucking letdown. And for all intents and purposes, Triple H was injured. He comes out wearing them goofy-looking fucking shorts because he pulled his groin. He was masturbating too hard, and he pulled his groin during this match. And it really, it just looked so fucking shitty that Goldberg, this, massive guy with all this power, he fucking eliminates like fucking 4 people during this match. And he just gets pinned by Triple H, and Triple H didn't do fucking anything. You would think because he's injured, all right, I'll give it to Goldberg. I'm injured anyway. But no, that's what these people don't understand. And this brings me to a current contemporary rant here. Everybody praising Evolution. Evolution was reigning supreme here, and you see what happened. Everybody wanted Goldberg to win. They're all chanting for him. Goldberg, Goldberg. And what happens? Evolution reigns supreme. Huh, adapt or perish. Ah, fuck it. You know, come on. All it is, you know, adapt or be bored, basically. That's all it is, you know. Goldberg losing here at the end was just so fucking shitty, and you know, the pay-per-view wasn't even that great. You know, you had one great match with Angle and Lesnar, but that was pretty much why 2003 was so great, because of those two guys anyway. And they were on SmackDown. They weren't even on Raw. You know, Raw was too busy being Triple H's show. And I give this match 3 stars. I would have given it more. Probably would have been a lot better if Goldberg won. You had some cool shit. Spear, you know, through the chamber was great. You know, some good spots here and there. But, you know, really, you know, if they were going to end it this quickly with everybody getting eliminated by Goldberg, also Kevin Nash getting pathetically eliminated in there in like 4 minutes or something like that. He was, you know, he enters the chamber and he gets eliminated before the next guy even enters. That is pathetic. So, you know, the way how this chamber was structured, the whole match, the way they booked it was shit. Fucking shit. They beat down Goldberg after the match. They're beating down a guy who's over, and they're trying to bury him really hard. Then they give him the belt at the next pay-per-view. But by that point, no one even gave a shit, because they all wanted him to win it at SummerSlam. And they just disappointed every single person in the arena. They fucked up. Pay-per-view, I've seen worse, but, you know, still, you know, also you gotta, like, fucking take some points away because of the way how they fucking just fucked up with Goldberg here at the end. You know, a lot of matches disappointed or just were plain bad. You know, some decent shit. I give this pay-per-view a 5.5 out of 10. You know, the matches that were good, you know, they were good, but not strong enough to save it. 6.5 out of 10 is, you know, I said 5.5. You know what? I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for this show. You know, Angle and Lesnar was a very good match. Some good hardcore shit with RVD. Triple H, you know, is burying Goldberg in the chamber. Still was a decent match, but the result was so fucking shitty. I'll go with a 6 on this one. 5.5, 6. I'll give it 6 to be generous. Alright, motherfuckers. Here goes another retro fusion. What's next? What the fuck is next?